Black Wall Street is now online, baby. That's right. Visit the GW District. Shop the very best in men's and women's apparel and accessories, home decor, office supplies, books, pantry items, and so much more. The GW District is a retail marketplace of Black-owned products and media. We're both veteran and Black-owned, and we're bringing you the best online shopping experience with products made by small businesses. Come and experience the GW District difference today at shopgwdistrict.com. That's shopgwdistrict.com. The GW District, a retail marketplace of Black-owned products and media.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. I just got to ask this question. Do you partake in the cannabis?
I do partake in cannabis, but not when I'm on parenting duty, which is where I am this evening.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, since you do partake, happy 420, sir.
Oh, man, happy 420 to you. Damn, like I didn't even notice.
Like days just go together, don't they?
Yeah, they really do. I could honestly use a blunt right now, like forget them ink cartridges and shit. Like,
oh yeah, no, the ones you had to bust open and let the guts out.
Yeah, that's right.
See, I'm gonna tell you, these kids don't understand. White out,
Dutches,
Dutch master.
Yeah, Dutch masters, Phillies, them joints, yeah.
I would tell if someone turned me on to a Swisher Sweet, I couldn't do it no more. I was like, nah, I can't do a Swisher.
Oh,
and there was another one they used to be able to get from like the drugstore that was in the container.
What you talking about? Wrapping papers?
No, not wrapping papers. It was an actual cigar. You can get I can't think of the name of the brand off the top of my dome.
Yeah, I know there was a lot of them. Like that was once you got your little bag, that was the next spot to go to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it be messed. When we was broke and shit, like, like you spend your money on the weed, and niggas is like, yo, like, somebody got $1.50, somebody got $1, we got to buy this Dutch. Nobody got that joint.
Or if I can't so it would be like, hey mom, can I get $1? I want to go to the store real quick. I ain't gonna tell you I'm gonna get the $1 for. Right. I'm just $1.
But let me ask you, like, have you, like, if you couldn't find a Dutch, you could find the $1, like what resorts did you go to in order to smoke the weed? Because we did some crazy shit, back in my early 20s, late teens. I remember I smoked out of an apple, man, like an apple with a straw. We found a way to smoke out of an apple.
I think the closest, I'm trying to think, cause it's very rare that we ever did nobody have $1. But
so like you was with that bougie crew. That's what it sounded like. Y'all had money. You grew up in a 2-parent household.
yeah. Because it was like you can find some damn spare change in it. Something about this bitch. And I'm like, it's especially if you got homies, one of them fuckers got to have $1 because one of them their mama though, or how they like some parents used to have like the little change shit.
The chain, like a piggy bank. Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, I used to hit that up all the time. So the parents leave the house. Shit, that's how I used to get nicks. See, that's what's gone to nicks. You used to be able to get a $5 bag. Now the $5 bag is 10 or 20.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember like my cousin back in East New York, Brooklyn, like they used to get they used to get what was called a tray bag, which I think was a $3 bag. I don't know. But I know that's not how I rolled, but folks made it happen.
See, you up north. I'm from down here in the Bull City, so it's like, oh, trust me, I didn't have that New York weed. Good. and y'all about to get what legal and decriminalized?
Oh yeah.
Bruh.
That's gonna happen all over the country, man.
Yeah. I heard they tried to run it through. They tried to run it through the first time with the Senate. And they had blocked it. But I know it's going to go through because there's too much money to be made for it to be legal. and they
Oh
know it.
yeah.
Yeah, because see, people don't realize what was it? The guinea pig really was Colorado.
Mm-hmm. Colorado, and Colorado's doing well right now. Even though I think something in the news went. I feel like something went down in Colorado recently, but no, man. Yeah, I think states are just taking advantage. Like there is a lot of money to be made, and now if you're sitting in a state that hasn't wised up with the program, you're not really
Yeah.
reaping none of the benefits.
Oh man, I was tripping. Right, I'm at work. I looked on the TV. They had a commercial for North Carolina endorsing medical weed. I said,
Oh, word.
let me find out. Because, see, we were the last to get the lotto. So I know we'll probably be the last to get legalized.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It just funny as hell. Like, even with the lotto, if you wanted to play the lotto a couple years back, or many years back, about 10, 15 years back, you had to go to Virginia, South Carolina.
Yo, I don't really watch a lot of television, but every once in a while I'll watch it. Just every once in a while, just recently, and I'm amazed at some of the commercials I be seeing. I mean, this might be off topic, but I saw a commercial advertising HIV medication. Like I know
Yes.
I didn't see that back in the day. I mean, we knew people was on that shit, Kalitra and all that shit.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yo, they
They
got
be
people
looking
all
happy.
smiling like Chris Rock said back in the day. All I needed was some Robitussin to knock that AIDS out. That's how they that's how they talk about it now.
I'm talking about they dancing. They got the two men each other. They was like, I am living a full life with HIV. Like,
Just dancing, working, in shape, smiling,
I'm just
pretty
like,
as all could be.
when I was coming up as a teenager, oh no. Magic came out with that bitch, goddamn, the world damn near died out of this bitch. Oh my God,
yeah.
not magic.
Yo, I don't know if you saw that picture that was circulating on social media. I gotta send it to you, but it was a picture with Magic. This was before he got that shit. It was Magic, and it was just a whole bunch of white women. Just he was surrounded by them, and the caption of the picture says, "This was the day." I was like,
he played Russian roulette with his dick. Oh God! Look, let me do these particulars. And we get this show. I knew this show was gonna be the shit. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Smokers Lounge here on Anchor, the perfect app for anyone who's trying to start their own podcast career. All you gotta do is download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm and get yourself a profile today. I'm your host, Kavanaugh, the Southern Champ, aka the Porn Rap Star. Y'all know what it is. Find all my links with one link in one place. allmylinks.com/porn rap star. I'd like to tell you about 3 wonderful sponsors that we have. The first one being the Facebook of the LS community, lsworld.com. Number 2 is one of the hottest rising adult magazines on the web as we speak. I'm talking about eroticismmagazine.com. Go there today, get a monthly subscription, get it paperback or get it digital. Either way, get it and see some of the hottest ladies from around the world doing some freaky stuff within these pages. And last but not least, but also Black owned, I'm talking about excitebunny.com. That's right. Black people, we finally have a porn platform. That's right. Let me tell you about it. Excite Bunny for you consumers is a new place where you can go and check out some of the hottest content creators and porn stars on the web today with some of their hottest content update on a regular basis. And for you content creators and porn stars, I got something else nice for you. 90% profit. I'm talking about 90% profit. You get back, and plus they also offer healthcare and no restrictions. That means that if you can put whatever you want up. You ain't got to worry about getting bumped off or getting kicked off or your stuff being taken down. So go to excitebunny.com, whether you're a consumer or a content creator. Get that profile. I am a proud member of the GW District Black Podcasting Network. Multiple podcasts give you the Black experience. Plus, while you're there, experience some great shopping from over 500 Black-owned retailers and shops. So go to shopgwdistrict.com, buy Black, support Black businesses, build a Black economy, so create generational wealth. Also, check me out on SkyhawkAfterDarkTV.com, as well as SGP radio on the BGP app. Yeah, I got to look that up. I'm sorry, I screwed that part up. So now, with that being said, I'm about to let my guest introduce himself.
Sure. So I am Bomber of the Black and Kinky Lifestyle Podcast. I host the podcast along with my wife Belle, and we are a black couple that has been in the lifestyle for just under 5 years now. And we use the podcast as a platform to share our experiences, our knowledge, our tips to other black couples that are engaged in a swinger lifestyle, so that they can, essentially have a voice that can really speak on what some of their experiences might be. Because what we found is that in the lifestyle, there, in the swinger lifestyle podcast community, I should say, there is a dominance of white couples, white individuals speaking on the swinger experience in a way that is not reflective of some of the experience of my black brothers and sisters, who have to deal with fetishization and have to deal with sort of being the fish out of water when it comes to engaging in many of these environments that are white dominant.
Yeah, most definitely. Because even on my end of the fence, it's the same. Even on with the porn stars, I call it the porn star podcast affair, or whatever you want to call it. Period. Where a lot of the porn stars are now starting to do podcasts, and which is crazy, because also a lot of porn stars are swingers. So he's very relevant to my podcast people.
Yeah.
So, and it was funny, because I was listening to one of your episodes, and you were talking about when someone said they're an expert. They said they did the research, and you had me dying out laughing. I said, he's an expert, but he just didn't do the research. He actually did it, sir. So, first off, what got you? How did y'all get into the swinger lifestyle?
It was actually kind of interesting. So my wife and I have always been somewhat, experimental. I mean, before we were in the lifestyle, we were somewhat candid about some of our sexual fantasies, and we even had we were kind of, we had a little experiences here and there, but they weren't like lifestyle experiences. It might be like, she might make out with a girl or something like that, and that was cool, but we didn't even know what the lifestyle was back then. But fast forward, a little bit after we got married. We've been together for well over a decade now, and she I started listening to podcasts and started exposing myself to information out there, and I just came across a individual on YouTube. They were. But the way they described the swinger club, which is what I always wanted to kind of visit, the way they described the swinger club was kind of interesting. I was just thinking it would be motherfuckers be busting nuts left and right. You'd have to walk in and dodge them shits. I didn't know, like like you fucking Neo from the Matrix, just fucking dodging fucking cum bullets. So so I told my wife about it, and she was like, yeah, let's go down there, let's check it out. And so we went to a local strip club. We went to a local swinger club called Taboo, and had a great experience in there. The crowd was real sexy. It was real diverse, which was very important. But and it was a great experience for both of us. Now I say that because that's not trivial. Because your first swinger experience, you want that to be positive, especially if you have a woman who's really on the fence about it. Like, you want to make sure that first one is like, oh, I want to know more. And so that's and that's what happened. We after we got back from the club, we played with each other in there, but we played out in the open. So that was the first time she got watched. And she liked being admired, watched, and I was feeling that. It felt very sexy. So after that, we started getting on a swinger website, started meeting couples and meeting up with couples, and we met a pretty sexy local group that we were partying with for a couple of years, and yeah, it's been great. It's been great. Learned a lot about each other, got close, got good at communicating and all that.
because of course the thought process when it comes to black community that we don't swing, that's white people shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and to me it's like us as men, and I always say this, because I think about even with Benzino and what happened with Mano or what have you, all this shit. And it's like we can't express our fantasies and our desires publicly.
That's right.
Because we'll be looked at as a certain way.
That's
because
right.
black man not supposed to do that. Black man not supposed to queen. Black man not supposed to allow his woman to be shared. You know? And we have to fight with that. So it's kind of like with your podcast, I like podcasts like that because it lets people know black people, we do get down too. Do not get it twisted. Why did we still stuck with that thought process in the black community?
Yeah, I think a number of reasons. One, let's keep it real with the black community.
Go ahead,
We
Dad.
are, we are like, we are way behind when it comes to sexual freedom and expression. But that's not our fault. I mean, honestly, slavery existed in this country longer than it hasn't. And, we are still on if you ask me, we're on an exponential growth trajectory. Given where we come from, it is amazing how far we've made it. But you see certain byproducts of that oppression. And I think there's several signs of it, but we are still extremely conservative and resistant to change. When it comes to being outside the curtains, like privately, black people are just fucking doing all kinds of shit. You might have a guy that's like, yo, I ain't on that homo shit, but you find out he likes getting his salad tossed every weekend. So, I think and I still unfortunately know some Caribbean brothers who will refuse to go down on a woman, which is just blasphemous to me.
I'm just saying, it's disrespectful to the pussy.
Yeah, right.
You have to eat what you about to fuck, man. I'm sorry.
But
just let me know she got good pussy by the taste. I'm just saying.
Right, right. You gotta taste test the pussy first, nigga.
Right, taste the pussy. Yeah.
So I think I think internally there's a lot of cultural barriers that we still need to fight through. Again, this isn't just black people. There's a lot of folks that are doing this, but I think black people are a special case because it's indicative of a systematic effort in our history to subdue us. And to over sexualize us, or it hasn't been unusual back in the day to say that black men were sexual predators just for being black men, and black women were these vixens that needed to be controlled. And so I think there's I think we're conservative. I think there are some history behind our hesitance, and there's also some the cultural beliefs in our communities that really keep folks from engaging. But the other thing is, we do also, as human beings, we want to be approved by our social networks. We don't want to be pariahs. And coming out as a swinger, coming out as a porn star, coming out as a sex positive, people can relate to this. You lose friends. You get judged by your family. You could even, here's the other thing that people don't really think about, man, if you have a child custody case, that could be used against you in a court of law.
Bingo, that part. I actually had somebody on the podcast discuss that and stuff, and I actually experienced that as it was brought up in the case. Lucky for me, the judge was like, well, do he film with the baby around? I said, I don't even see my child. He was like, then how is this relevant to this case? But see, the thing of, I like you said, I always say this myself too, and you said it yourself also, is that the more we claim to be progressive, we're conservative as fuck. Because even I hear dudes that would not let a girl rim him for shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or what have you. There's porn stars that probably get pegged but would never do a peg video. You feel what I'm coming from?
Right,
Because
right.
it's like they're worried about, oh my God, I lost my masculinity and this. And I'm like, this question I ask you, what makes a man in 2022? Because I hear so much from the other podcasters about how a man should show up, the modern woman, all this crap, the manosphere. You know what it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah.
is a man in 2022?
A man in 2022. That is a good question. And I think, manhood for me is really about accepting who you are. Manhood for me has always been about being able to, sacrifice when needed. But, as far as I mean, I don't think men have changed very much at all. To tell you the truth, I don't think it been what we sort of emphasize and what we believe has changed, but men haven't changed very much. So for example, folks are talking about men used to be men are becoming too feminized, for example. And I think that's amazing, because you think of some of the rock stars in the 70s and
Yeah.
80s. These motherfuckers used to wear lipstick. Okay, look
And
at
I
look, look at Prince and Michael Jackson, real feminine. That
Yeah.
wasn't new. Transvestites in France, trans sex workers down. You remember the movie The Last Dragon?
Yeah.
You remember that scene in the movie theater where Show Enough had to rough up some dudes, but there was this
Yeah.
one trans man, this one trans woman rather, in the audience, like, not the face, baby.
I remember that. Yeah.
I'm like, things haven't really changed that much. We're just deciding to talk about a few things a little bit more is out in the open.
Yeah. Because kind of to me, it's like I always say that the foolishness of the few drowns out the truth of the many. Because
Absolutely.
because it's like when you hear it, I mean, even into the swinger lifestyle, period. You're not supposed to share your woman. You're not supposed to allow your woman to do a gangbang. There's no such. Actually, I never really heard of a black couple too often. And even with the black BDSM side of things, it's kind of like I had this conversation with one of my co-hosts, Reed Daily. You know what I'm saying? Reed Daily Report. Y'all check out the Premium Smoke Room. And she's submissive. She wants to do gangbangs. She's submissive where she even want to get roughed up. And she was like, when she holler at black male talent, they don't want to do it. And they looking like she's crazy. And I always said this because she's tall and she's a BBW. And I was like, well, a lot of people look at black women. She can be 4'11" and 102 pounds. They would think she's a dom before they think she's a submissive. And look at her crazy like she's a submissive.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, I was like, what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, because it's interesting, like when I hear man, the black girls, they starting to want to do gangbangs or what have you, and it's like it's hard for them to get them, especially if they want an all black one. Because it's like it's so many hangups that I think we have.
But if she was a white girl, so if she was a white girl, you think she would have got that gangbang from black guys?
Yeah.
It's so many. It's so interesting the kind of assumptions people make about others when it comes to this submission and dominance thing.
Yeah.
I think that's funny because when you look at dominant, women, they tend to be big, tall, and black ones in particular. There's a lot of body positivity in that space. But yeah, that's that's really interesting.
Yeah, because it's kind of like it's like even with like when some black girls that are submissive, their doms are usually white in a lot of cases. You know, period. It's like they can't imagine being dominated by a black man or what have you. So it's kind of like when it comes to the swing, you know, the black BDSM and even the swinger lifestyle, it's like the men have it. How can I put this? We already want to act like swingers and poly. We want to go there, maybe one-sided now. This bitch probably in most cases, but it's kind of like it's like they don't want to. It's like they're scared to admit they're freaks. They're into this shit.
Interesting.
You know, from my observation in many ways, because it's kind of like, you know, when I even had conversation with my friends, they'd be like, the first thing that hollers at me, that dude's fucking the girl. I'm like, yeah, I met her in porn. What you talking about?
You know, it's interesting. Porn, we don't do a lot of. I mean, if you brought a fucking camera into some of our parties and some of our play sessions, it would damn sure look like a porn.
Yeah.
So I guess in some ways, what separates the porn star from what the swingers are doing is a fucking camera. But
part.
you know, it's a couple of things. When it comes to porn, what fascinates me most, or what I'm starting to learn a lot more about, is just how consent works on a porn set. And you know, folks don't necessarily think about this a lot, or at least I don't think. But I was just reading this book about consent sort of playing its role in two ways. One, who has consent or permission to use the footage that is produced. You know, who decides that? Because there's a lot of footage that ends up getting stolen and placed on, you know, free sites. There's that end, but the other end is like when people are engaged in people decide to have certain kinds of sex, you know, or flirt with certain people on set. Like when does that broach on inappropriate flirting? Like if I'm flirting with a female director, is that a problem? Like, have you ever heard of anything like that?
Yeah. I got it. Okay. Strapping people. All right. I'm going to take it each piece. When it comes to the content, if I want it, I have to pay everybody in the room. If I want it exclusive. If no one is paid, it's content trade across the board. That means everybody that's involved in the scene, from the cameraman to the filming of the scene. Let's make that clear. Because no, the makeup artist did not get a copy. But the cameraman and the talents is split up between them. You know, period. Now, if they want to like have exclusive content, that's why you shoot multiple scenes within that session. And y'all basically just come to agreement, handshake, or what have you. Or if you want to put it on paperwork, that's fine. But for the most part, if you want it exclusive, completely to yourself, everybody is paid across the board.
Oh, I see.
You feel me? That's why there's no royalties in porn. Anybody ever said royalties? They're freaking lie. This is not music. This is pay you up front. If not, I have to give you a copy, kind of like a TFP.
Interesting.
When it comes to on set, it is frowned upon. Like this, there's a thin line between being thirsty and being flirtatious. It is good to be flirtatious because it breaks the ice between you and the female talent so that you can get the best out of her. It makes her feel wanted, in turn, she's going to make you feel wanted. It's kind of like a dance. But you're there because you didn't meet her at the bar and you bought her a drink. You're there because you're getting paid or you're getting content. And you're going to get the pussy anyway. So what's the point of even, you know, plus some of these women are married, have boyfriends, and all that. And two, on the producing and directing end, they don't like dudes you're going to be sitting there asking every fucking female talent you want to go out to dinner, because the biggest question is, if he's like that, one, he's going to make the girls feel uncomfortable. Two, he's not going to have his mind on the scene. He's going to be too busy trying to just get pussy. And the biggest thing, can we trust that you're going to be clean when you take that TTS every time? And we talking about some of these companies actually pay for the TTS. We talking about $300-something.
Oh, wow.
They got to have it every 2 weeks in some cases. So.
Wow. Oh, wow. Like, thanks for breaking that down to me. Like, I was clueless. But I wanted to say this before because, I had this one experience where I was telling a fellow brother a story about how I was attempting to have a DVP, not a DVP, a DP with this woman. And she was a bad chick, man. I mean, it was one of our first experiences. And so I was telling him about that story. And the first thing he said was, well, damn, how can you do a DP? Don't y'all dicks touch at some point? And I said, and I'm thinking, nigga, I just told you this girl wanted to have a dick in her ass and in her pussy, and you talking about our dicks touching? Like, which one of us is gay right now? Which one of us is really on that stuff? Like, if that's the one thing you're gonna be thinking about, brother, it's okay.
I'm sorry. Look, let's keep it 100. If you in an orgy, if you in a gangbang, if you're in a threesome, at some point your dick gonna touch another dick. I'm saying it's facts. I'm sorry. She might want 2 dicks in the mouth. What you gonna do? Oh God, don't do that. Don't do that.
That's what I'm saying, man.
That same dude gonna be sitting there talking about giving you a high five, talking for some brunch, some peace. He forgot all about the fact that dicks is touching in the mouth. I told you, that's why I said some people, their hang-ups is just funny to me. Because it's like the last thing you would think, oh, if our dick's gonna touch. It will blow my mind if someone said that to me. I'd be like, and no, there's some male talent that had an issue. No, what was it? Had an issue if what was it? If the dick touch or cum or something, it was something to that nature.
Cum. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, that's a complex a lot of folks have.
Yeah, and I don't know if he rubbed her face and he came on it, and another person came on right before. She never wiped it off, and he just rubbed it in.
Oh wow!
Or something, or they dictate it was something, and it just fucked his head up. And I'm like, when you in that world, whether it's singing, whether it's porn, dude,
you're gonna make contact with something.
Yeah,
man. Listen, it's like, it's just like, man, I don't know. Like if we in a gangbang, it's just something you don't think about. Like I get this funny questions I get. Like if I smash a chick and bang, I'm she's covered in my sweat and shit. The next dude gonna come in. Think he's thinking about my bodily fluids. He's just thinking about smashing.
That's it.
We all taking a shower. We all taking a shower after, man.
I told you. No, we're fucking. Who gives a shit? You're lucky you even in the room, dude. Because there's some men, they women would not let his ass go do that, or even join in. Let's keep it real.
Now we do have a culture that perpetuates the homophobic, sort of thinking. Now that's changed a bit, but I think I know my boys. We have all been raised in environments raised by men who absolutely despised anything that went beyond smashing a chick, missionary, and even that, be careful who you mention that in front of. And so it's almost like as a man, you gotta relearn certain things. I remember one of the best books I read back in the day was She Comes First. I can't remember the author off the top of my head right now, but it was the first book that really walks through how to please the female vulva. what to focus on during cunnilingus, what to focus on while you're smashing it, just the art of pleasing a woman. And, that was me coming off of constant messaging, telling me that it was all about me. It was all about me getting a nut. And there were so many opportunities I missed because I was so focused on that.
Yeah. Because it was like, even at a young age, I understood the importance of pleasing the woman. When I watched the porn, it was which was funny because all the porns that I watched, which was all white porns, the man always ate the pussy. And the black ones, I didn't really see that too tough. But I saw the reaction that she had afterwards. And then when I started having sex myself, I started noticing the difference in when I did her first versus she did me first. When she did me after me,
it's night and day.
It's night and day. She kind of after I eat that pussy, So
yeah.
To me is we have been taught to be sexually suppressed by our own. And it's kind of even to the point, I think that the older I got, the more I became unsexually suppressed with age, because it's kind of even when I listen, even with porn, it's funny as fuck. A lot of the girls that come into business now is in their 40s.
Yeah.
The marriage. One girl told me, I ain't even sucked dick during my marriage. Now I love it. I said, your husband hates your fucking guts right now.
Yeah, it's interesting how and when people rediscover who they are within their life course, because I'll tell you, we've been in their lifestyle for we haven't been in there for 20 years or nothing. We've been dancing this dance for about 4 years, 5 years, and in that small bit of time, I mean, we've shifted. When we discovered swinging, we wanted to do everything. We went to all the parties, we went to all the getaways, we went to Naughty New Orleans, we went on the Bliss cruise. Recently we went to Desire. That was more recent. But I think over time we had some experiences that were wonderful, but then we had some experiences that weren't so wonderful, and then we really got the identity, the opportunity to see what we liked, and once we found out what we liked, it was clear that that was rare to find. For example, finding a couple where and she vibes with the man, that is a rare thing. Usually I'm like, oh man, I'd fuck the shit out of this chick, and she looks at the guy and she's like, negative, fail, no, does not compute.
That's the hardest part about it. It's kind of that's why I let my woman pick it, because me, I already know that she gonna pick. If she picks the couple, it's gonna fit. Versus me, because I have to. It's shooting blanks. That it's shooting in the dark out this bitch with nobody. 50-50. I hope she likes both of them. And even the girl, it's we can't bring the girl because we taking the risk that one, she don't like her, and two, regardless of whether y'all have done it before or not, the argument of you just wanted to fuck her. But the fuck her. That's why you brought her.
Yeah, no, we can't be the leaders in that choice. We just need to, sit back and make sure that our swag still shines so that the other woman is interested. And it's one thing that we learned is that there's a lot of brothers out here that just ain't trying, man. They're just, I don't know, I'm like, yo, just put on some nice clothes, man. Tell some jokes, have some personality, smile in your pictures or something.
But do you think that a lot of these guys, when they come, because we talk on the man side of things, when they go to these swinger parties, do they have the right to think they're gonna automatically get some pussy while they're there?
Oh, hell no. Nah. Well, it depends, man. There's a hierarchy. It's just like, Yo, man, it's just like financial inequality.
Yeah.
We got sexy inequality. Sometimes there's
Hmm.
some guys who are filthy rich. They got a nice body. They're tall. The guys I'm talking about. And unfortunately, if you a black dude, a good looking black dude, oh man, you could walk up in a party and get some pussy. Like as long as you got some tight game, your game still has to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
tight.
You got to have swag with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could be a little quirky, but you can't be thirsty and think that, my dick is here. Who want it? Something, it's not going to work like that for you. You still got to come in with some kind of charm. You still got to come in with respect. You still got to come in humble. And you
Yeah,
know what? Usually when you do that, your dick will be summoned. You know what I mean?
yeah. Because it's funny from hearing the Swinger Club Chronicles from my girl Spit Queen and Blue Flame on their podcast. Well, now newly branded their podcast.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about that from a woman's point of view, and like some of the dudes, like she met one dude, let him hit. She thought he was good looking till she got him in the light.
Yeah. Yeah. That happens
You know,
sometimes too.
yeah. So it's like, how can I put it like this? What do you consider a great swingers experience?
Oh man, yeah, no. What I consider a great swingers experience again is when we have that four-way connection.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, so it's literally like, when we meet a couple, we vibe with that couple, we have chemistry, and we have a lot of couples in our lives that we vibe with. But then not only do we vibe with them, but I like the dude. Like it's not on
Yeah,
no like gay shit. I like him. He's a cool guy. We could talk. Like that's great. We could talk without the woman or with the women there. We could joke, we could laugh. And I
yeah,
like the way my partner responds to him. I like the way my wife responds to him. I like the way he talks to my wife. I like the way he makes her feel good. And then of course I'm doing my thing with the woman, and then, if she's
mm-hmm.
feeling me, I'm feeling her. I get that vibe, that vibe and that energy, and the energy is flowing, and then we take it to the playroom. We figure out that our play styles align. You know what I mean? He does the things that she likes done to her. I do the things that she likes done to her, and everybody's just busting nuts. Like we going in. I remember one time there was a recent story I had shared on our podcast where we met up with this couple that we liked, and it was all love, man. We went to the we went to the hotel room. We had dinner in the hotel room just because we didn't want to spoil the vibe by leaving the hotel
Yeah,
room. And then we took some edibles, played some games, and played, doing our thing, just fucking in the room. And the fucking fire alarm goes off after we're done. The fire alarm goes off, so we gotta put all our clothes on, right? We're putting our clothes on, and then we walk out of the hotel, and then the fire alarm's turned off. And what we do, instead of like calling in the night, we go right back at the hotel, take our clothes off, get right back in bed, start fucking again. That's a
yeah,
good night.
yeah. That's a
When
great night.
when when you go back, that's when you know it's
Yeah,
serious. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
So I'm gonna ask you this: do y'all do threesomes? Like y'all might go to the club and get a AK unicorn? I guess that's what they.
Yeah. No, that's usually a negative because the thing is, the Belle, she don't like eating pussy. It's not her thing.
Ah,
So it changes
ah.
the whole like it changes the whole dynamic. She like titties, she like making out with chicks, but she know that chicks want more than that. So we never do threesomes with a woman. It's just gonna be a disappointment for her. I can do some things, but that woman want to get eaten out by another woman. That's usually how that happens, and she can't get it with
And
us.
all I'm gonna say is this: he has proved my point of how a threesome can be perfect. Because if
Mhm.
the woman is not into women, you're gonna have issues. I'm trying to tell you,
Yep.
you're gonna have
Yep.
issues.
Yeah.
She got to participate in some way to the woman, whether it's unless she's one of them chicks that put on the strap on, and the girl that y'all doing it with enjoys the strap on. That's a totally different story. But
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
has to participate in some other way because that's hard to sit back for a woman to see another woman do you
Hmm.
and make you
Hmm.
say things. Because think about it, both of y'all's occupied. So it's like y'all seeing it and y'all enjoying it. You get turned on seeing each other being pleased as you're being pleased.
Yeah,
So
and
it's a
me seeing her not being pleased is, um, yeah, that could be an issue.
yeah. Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
I need my wife to take care of, dude.
Mhm.
You gotta have your business on your head. I can't be the only one having fun. She ain't about to kill bees. Yeah,
Yeah,
cause
so we yeah, I mean we would, one thing we have thought about is bringing a second guy into the bedroom, and she just be sort of pleased by the both of us. I mean, we thought
that's
about
cool.
that, but we have not done that before. Yeah, I know a lot of people who like that, so it's and have recommended it. And I remember there were times where I would be me, her, we would be with a couple, and then the other woman might want to take a break, or she might go to the bathroom or something. So
Yeah.
so it just be me, the bell, and the guy. And a lot of times that was a really relaxing thing for me, because while she's getting pleased, I could just do anything else I want to her, and she's not waiting for me. She's getting pleased. So I could really kind of focus on her body and focus on touching the right places, and, licking her titties the right way while she's, getting pleased in this other way. And it was like meditation for me when that was happening. So I could kind of see the allure of it.
Yeah. Because in many essence it's kind of a cuckold. You feel what I'm saying? And it's funny that if you say cuckold to a black dude, no, ain't no way, I ain't no cuckold. You sit back and cause like me, I'll sit back and like if my wife brought a dude on, I'll sit back and watch. Then eventually, you feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm,
That's
mm-hmm.
cuckold shit.
Yeah.
Period. And then like I said, also with the dynamic, like I said, I like you know what I'm saying? I tell people you got to find what works for you. Period.
I mean, I think,
And all,
when it comes to cuckold, like I more so think of it as more of a hot wife thing. When I think of
yeah,
cuckolds for me, the way I've defined it is when it's not just like you watching your chick get pounded out by a guy or whatever. Like that guy, it has to be a powerful guy. It has to be a bigger guy. Maybe some guy that might
mm-hmm.
have a bigger dick, bigger body, stronger body, or whatever.
Oh,
That's a
damn well, you fix it. Let's make this clear. A lot of reasons why men don't want to do the swing because they know they're not going to win in the picking. They're not going to win in the picking of the other one that they fucking. Cause yeah, you might get that dime piece, but no, she gonna get that dude.
yeah.
That dude. You gotta
Mhm.
sit back and watch that dude.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's why I say you got to you have to be one to get turned on watching your woman being pleased.
Yeah. And no, but I also, I mean, I get turned on watching her get pleased, but I also just like her getting pleased. I
Yeah.
just like, I'm happy for her. I like the fact that, because I mean, we've been together for a long time. Like I can still
Mm-hmm.
please her, and I can still please her right. But as far as like a new guy, like even if he don't look as good as me, like a new guy that's really like, oh, when you tell your woman she's beautiful, she doesn't
Yeah.
really believe that shit no more, man. You a husband,
Yeah.
she don't believe that shit. But another guy tells her she's beautiful, she's like, oh, thank you,
Yeah.
and
And for us, and for like dudes like me and you, that's a smile on my face. Like, yeah, that's
yeah,
mine. I take that home.
yeah.
I
That's
take
the
that
other
home.
thing. That's the other thing. I wake up next to that every day. Those titties I
Yes, Lord.
see every day, Um,
Yes.
and there's another guy just dreaming about it.
Yeah.
I like that. That's sexy. I get off on that.
Yeah. You know. So when y'all talk to other, let's say couples that are thinking about teetering on it, what's the one thing that you feel is important that they need to know?
Oh, they need to make sure that they are each other's priority. That is number one. No matter how much. Here's the thing, because I'm in a relationship right now with my wife where she is like unhappy, 85% of the time, with the guys that come up to us. you know
Yeah.
um And I could take that a number of ways. Like, I'm like, yo, I'm so I'm easy to satisfy. Why are you so hard to satisfy? Why are you being a mean black woman all the time? I could take it there. And my thing is, don't do that, because and there's no, and I've been with a lot of women, a lot of beautiful, bad women. None of them can hold a torch to my wife and the life that we've built. And sometimes people can forget that. I'm really talking to the guys right now.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can forget that. Look, no matter how frustrated your wife makes you in her choices and her decision to be in the lifestyle, yo, you
Yeah.
swallow that. That's your choice. Y'all in this together. She has to be happy with this, and if she's not, then you not happy with it. Because I'm telling you, if you try to fuck with this thing when she doesn't want you to, you are going to make one of the biggest mistakes of your life. So that's one piece of advice I'd give. The other is that this is a communication exercise. You have to tell each other what you like, what you don't like, and you got to get more specific over time, and you have to be amenable to changes over time. Sometimes what you like, you don't even know until you tried it, and now you want a totally different game. The last thing I will shoot, I can't remember what the last thing I was going to say was. Yeah, it just slipped my mind. It was important. It'll come back. It'll come back when I remember it.
Choose there. Yeah, because I always tell people the key to a relationship is how you adjust to the changes of your mate.
Mm-hmm.
Just your change. And I think, like, I have talked to a couple that they don't swing or nothing, but they do porn, and they really get down with it, and they won't, go outside the circle, what have you. And it was like porn, like, swinging. It's kind of like it reinvigorates the marriage in so many ways, period. Now, the question I'm going to ask you is, because I always said this.
Oh, I just remember what I was going to say. This was important. And then I'm going to throw your question at me before I forget it again. The third thing I was going to say is understand that you're going to fuck up. You got to accept that you or your partner are going to fuck up at some point. You're going to learn, and then you're going to fuck up again, because that's part of swinging life. It's part of life in general. And coming back to talk and forgive each other and heal is your number one priority. Knowing how to do that is what will make you a strong couple in this lifestyle. But go ahead. Sorry, what was your question?
Yeah, facts. But no, I always said this. Monogamy is mental, but yet we want to equate it to physical.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, man, that's so true.
Because to me, I always said this, and even before porn, I was like, someone asked me, well, could you date a prostitute, stripper? Well, all them questions that, the boys always ask each other. Saying, yeah, you don't change the fucking woman, which you do. That's why I say when I listen to like some of this manosphere shit, I just want people to know that's not the majority. There's nothing wrong. My woman make more money than me. Great. Yay.
Yep.
Period. It, like I said, people sometimes care about things that make no sense for them to care about.
No, man.
Hey.
Chris Rock said it best in his Tambourine special, and I would urge people to see that. But his whole point was that, when you in a relationship, you both have the same purpose, and your purpose is to serve each other. And sometimes you can't really be on competition with your partner. You can't be competing. What if I win, she wins. If she wins, I win. If I lose, she loses too. And if she loses, we together. Now, sometimes you gonna be, on stage singing, and she's gonna be backstage, doing a little backstage dance or whatever. And sometimes she's gonna be on stage, and you're gonna be playing that shitty ass tambourine. But if it's your time to play that shit, you better play the shit out of that tambourine. That was one of his best messages, man.
Now, I'm going to tell you, I sent the question to Mandy B, who is, shouts out to Mandy B, love her to death, her gorgeous ass. And she's somewhat a mentor to me. Now I was hearing them talk about the modern woman, her having all the money. Where does a man, where's his place? Where did he show up? Right? I said, well, I want you to think about this. Y'all always talk about it from the point of where the woman got the money. Okay. And this is how I came up with it. Now, if anybody watch Black as Fuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Low key, he didn't get his stride first. It was the wife. She took care of his ass until he got his writing credits and started getting that money with the writing. And she quit being a lawyer. So she was making all the money. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Everybody love Gina and Martin, right? I'm about to fuck everybody head up. For half of that damn run, Gina made all the money. Martin was a radio DJ. He won't make money like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Gina was advertising executive. Start playing with me. But then he ended up getting the TV show, right? So I asked her the question. I said, well, what happened in midstream of the relationship? The roles switched. Now, how did he show up? And not only that, do she still show up the same?
Right.
You know, period. Because us as men, we ain't gonna expect you to change how you show up, whether you was making more money than we did.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? You know, period. Just like they gonna expect us the same way we treated them when we were broke. They're gonna want that same attention, that same affection, that same attention to care when you got the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I think in general, you know, we as a people need to respect and honor the ability to adapt in these situations. You know, sometimes the way we serve has to shift. And we have to understand that, you know, long term, you really have to be forward thinking here. You know, so I love those examples you gave, because it just showed, if you let competition destroy a good relationship, there's so much light, so much gold, so many gifts at the end of the tunnel you just cut yourself from. You don't know where this could lead, you know.
Because I mean, because the way I look at it is that it's like, because you got so many of our fellow podcasters who they use their mic to spit foolishness.
Yeah.
I'm just keeping it 100. I don't put no punch on my show. And to me, you're embarrassing the rest of the black men.
Mm-hmm.
Because, okay, then I said this too. I said, you sit there and say you don't want a woman that's successful. You say a woman that's not successful will never get a man. All right. But you'll complain about that chick that's broke that can't cook.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what you wanted.
Right.
What you wanted.
Right. You know, it's so interesting. There's a lot of like legitimate dating coaches that just quit their job because they got, you know, I think a lot of folks are walking around here confused looking for love because, you know, I was talking to my wife about this on one of our Patreon posts, that, you know, we wouldn't have chose each other if we had listened to some of the nonsense that's on these podcasts and on YouTube. We would have rejected each other. Like, oh, you know, she's not so-and-so. So, you know, she's getting her fucking PhD. She's not for me. Or, you know, she was, you know, I wasn't making too much money, but I was like, I was trying to do my thing. I was young, like I was on my journey. But you know, she might not have dated me because I wasn't making enough money, you know, and it's like, she relied on her intuition, some of the things she learned from her grandma about what a good man is supposed to look like. You know, and I feel like a lot of what's going on, not only on podcasts but on social media too, like, you know, it's really, really awful, man. Like, and unfortunately, this is where most people are getting their information about relationships.
Yeah, actually, because it's like, when I sit there and listen to these people, right? And I'm kind of like, okay, maybe the way I grew up in a 2-parent household, or even listening to some of the women in my family, and even some of the men, and maybe it's the men they would talk to. I don't know, but all the men in my family like, I don't want no broke ass woman.
Mm-hmm.
My granddad said 0 + 0 = 0. Why was it with just as broke as me? Until she make more money than me, she gonna spend money on me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, period. It's like, to me, I said this to the girl. I said, y'all need to stop dating lames.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he has an issue with you being successful, making more money, that's more on him.
That's actually the more that's right. I mean, that's actually the more dangerous thing. It's not really, you want to make sure his head is in the right place as far as what his ambition looks like, and what he's trying to do. But it's really important how he sees you and your potential success. That's actually very, very important.
Yeah, because it's because I listen to girls who I've seen in this business, just porn.
Mm-hmm.
Girls who were getting it. I'm making money, getting gigs, leave the game because the guy they dating at the time, keyword at the time.
Mm-hmm.
See where I'm going with these people. Wanted them out the game. Or, no, you can't fuck nobody else but me, this and third. But then about 2 years later, after he done cheated on about 3 times and left the ass for the next chick, now she got to pick up the piece, try to get back in the business, and it's harder. That's why I used to tell girls, I'm like, no, never sacrifice your career for that dude. He has to accept you for who you are, just like you got to accept him. Women, y'all accept a drug dealer being a drug dealer, you still date him.
Yeah.
You accept this ball player, even though you might not want him to cheat, you might not think he's going to cheat, but in some cases, we know what it is. You feel me?
It's really interesting where this kind of thinking comes from, because back in the day, a woman could barely leave the house before she got married. But it seems like, and there were reasons for that. Like, men were the source of income and security for a lot of women. That has changed quite a bit. So it's interesting that even though women have the ability to be really independent financially, that some men still have the power to make these broad demands on how they're supposed to make their money. Yeah, so it's real interesting, man. I mean, I never ever thought about doing porn. I know my wife has fantasized about being a stripper, because there is a performance in it, but I think she's settled for trying out burlesque. But
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I met my wife through the business. So,
That's what's up.
And she did pretty well. She did pretty well for the time she was in it. And to me, I think because the girl that I was dating before her, the reason why we broke up because she wanted me to quit. I was like,
yeah.
Is it because the pussy? I'm like, no. Woman is paying bills.
Mm-hmm.
It's making money. And see, that's the thing that people don't really get, is that we have to separate personal from business. Period. That's and you live, because it like put it this way: it's mental prep, it's physical prep, it's all that before you get in front of the camera anyway. And a lot of people, a lot of times, even when I listen to these podcasts, that porn stars talk to porn stars, they don't talk about that shit. They don't talk about that part of the industry. Mental prep, the pre-care, the aftercare, discussion of boundaries. How do you pick the town that you work with? That's what I do with my podcast. I break it down to the crux and the real. Kill misconceptions, same way that y'all want to kill misconceptions about and educate people about the swinger lifestyle. Because I don't talk to people, swingers, about that, which is crazy. Many swingers end up getting into porn because a lot of women that I talk to, they're swingers and they in porn.
Right.
And it's kind of like there's so many misconceptions of what swinging is. There's so many misconceptions of how to swing and how to live in that space. And how important is it that your show speaks upon that and help kill the misconception and also answer questions?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, porn, I mean, it's interesting. I was talking to somebody about this before, and thinking about where, where being a swinger lies in the spectrum of different, lifestyle choices. And I had traditionally seen swinging as something that would exist in the same world as polyamory.
Yeah,
And as I, you know, as I've been in it lifestyle long enough, the thing is, the thing is, polyamory is something you could talk about publicly. Polyamory is
yeah,
something you can come out as. Polyamory is something you're more likely to see in a TV show or a documentary. But you start talking about swinging, one of the biggest sources of swinging information, you find that shit on like Playboy.
yeah,
You find it on Pornhub, like, real life people being interviewed like they're on a fucking reality show, and then, trying out swinging. So swinging isn't necessarily seen as like this relationship lifestyle choice, even though
yeah.
there's a lot of friendships that are built, that are very
But
intimate.
see, I think the reason why, because with the other things you named, many of the swingers are married or in relationships. So when to society, we taught not to. Excuse me. I'm gonna say this again. Thanks to Charlemagne of the Franks, not Charlemagne of the gods in the Holy Roman Empire, they kind of put all this bullshit in motion. I feel better now. That we're stuck with the notion that you're not supposed to share your wife.
Mhm.
Your wife is the only he's the only one you supposed to have sex with. She's the only one you supposed to fuck. Well, actually, technically, you can have as many wives as you want, the way the Bible tell you. But she supposed to only fuck you. That's it. Not a woman, not a man, not even a dildo. You just you.
Mhm.
And it's that thought process. So swinging is like put it this way, like with swinging, to them it's more of a quote unquote sin than that if you're talking about being in the BDSM
Yeah.
or being poly. Because poly they equate that to closer to what the narrative is. Just like you got the sister wives. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
One man got so many women, period. They're always glorifying the movies, men cheating. They don't really glorify women cheating too tough. You feel me?
Yep.
But like I said, but anything with swinging, they don't want to show because that's a married couple saying, yo, let's open the door and let other people in and let's play and have fun and enjoy each other. They don't want that narrative. You feel me? That's the reason why your boy Will Smith is going fucking crazy. They in a fucking open ass marriage, actually swingers to a certain extent, but he
Mhm.
can't be honest and open about it because it will kill his brand.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, that Will Smith and Jada thing is there. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah,
There
that's a
there's
lot.
a
That's
there's a
another
lot.
show within
Although,
itself.
yeah, but yeah, but I mean, yeah, swinging more parallels with porn, certainly, and certainly when you go on certain websites, I mean, people are using websites to release, their pornographic material. There's
Yeah.
swingers that have a lot. I mean, there's a lot of swinger podcasts that got their OnlyFans page. Um, and they're releasing a lot of sexual content. So a lot of swingers becoming sex workers. All power to
Yeah.
them. But
Because I
when you
mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I mean,
no, I was just going to say, when you open that door, being your authentic self and being sexually
yeah.
free, it's interesting what comes out of that door.
Oh yeah. And see, the thing is with porn, like the swinger lifestyle, it allows you to be sexually open with no judgment.
That's right.
You
And once
know,
you get a taste of that,
you can't go back. I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
I can't go back to being vanilla. Even
Oh
though I'm
no.
retired.
It's like retired.
Yeah. No, I did almost 20 years.
Okay.
In bikini,
And you're
for the
not
most
doing
part.
no more. You're completely out.
Yeah, it's kind of like I tell anybody, when the same way I made a decision that when I'm in, I'm in. When I say I'm gonna be out, I'm gonna be out, and I ain't gonna turn back and stuff. And that's part of the reason why why I started podcasting, because it took up the space of me not doing it anymore. Plus, I'm at the point now that I can make money in my sleep from it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that I got enough. I done shot over 400 scenes in my 15 career, probably more than that.
Good.
You know, but it's just I didn't go Hollywood because I already knew the writing on the wall back in the day when I was trying to get girls in the business, and the producers in Hollywood was already telling me, get them to film their own shit. Out here's dying. The internet gonna take over. So I already knew what it was. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I knew the content creator era was coming, but I didn't know it was gonna be like this though. So to where it's too easy to get in per se. But like I tell anybody, it's just when it comes to the swingers, a lot of swingers do end up doing it because, one, if you got swingers that throw parties, what great way to advertise your party.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
And then on the other end, usually because women are the main course in this business,
Mm-hmm.
it's an opportunity for a female, one, to be able to get fucked raw, and he's quality and he's tested. So, and also less issue with a person have to catch feelings, and it's kind of like they do it to not indulge in the swinger lifestyle, but also indulge in a way where it's a safe bet. Because let's be real, like you said in the club, she might see one that look good, but he might not be up to task down below, and she
Right.
like, man, it's some bullshit.
Yep. Sometimes the play style doesn't match.
Hell yeah. And then we sit there, we got our play style, we like, I can't fuck you because I fuck you. And shit. No, we good, boo. We good. We'll talk a little bit later.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you gotta keep them happy, player.
Really
You gotta
do.
keep them happy. Daddy told me that a long time ago. Mama ain't happy, nobody's happy.
Mm-hmm.
So my brother, man, I had you on here for an hour, man, and I definitely would love to bring you back so we can chop it up some more, and even bring you back on some of the other podcasts that I have on the network, man.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. This was fun. I'm always happy to, I think, more content creators, more black men in particular that can talk
Yeah.
about this stuff in a really mature and informed way is important. Because there is a lot of riffraff, a lot of ignorant shit going on out there, and we need to balance it out. I feel like the women got a lot of stuff locked down. There's a lot of good female content creators out there, but we really gotta pick it up.
Ain't a lot of it in the space. I mean, seriously, it really ain't. When I think just off the top of my dome, cause like even with me being in the group, that same group that we in Twitter, seeing you, seeing Bull, I can't think of course Amari, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then too also to be able to connect with other black podcasters and be on their show, I be on their shows, it's like that's where I wanted to be, because it's the same way with porn. You want to collaborate with people.
Mm-hmm.
So that we can share each other's knowledge and wealth as well as fan base.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, man, I definitely want to bring you back as well as the wifey and stuff. Actually, might bring y'all on probably one of the other shows, most definitely.
Oh yeah, no, we'd be glad to come on. Wifey's a hell of a lot more busier than I am, and usually I'm the one doing this work. So, but yeah, no, definitely this was great, and I welcome your listeners to check us out at BlackNKink Lifestyle. BlackNKinkyLifestyle@gmail.com is how you can email us. Black and Kinky, we're available on every single podcast platform there is. Um, we're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we just all over the place. It's hard not to find us, but BlackNKinkyLifestyle@gmail.com.
Yes.
Check us out.
See? AKA Black fucking excellence, people. That's why I love this goddamn space. I get to talk to my motherfucking peoples. We get to chop it up and say some real ass shit.
Right.
And kill some of this bullshit that y'all be hearing on YouTube. Cause I swear to God, cause stop listening to motherfuckers that ain't even married.
Right. Yo, it's crazy, right?
I'm like, why I'm gonna talk to somebody only been with that person 3 years? No, I want to talk to motherfuckers that been together for 50.
Yeah,
like grandma and granddaddy, they'll tell you how to keep your marriage going, tell you how to stay together. Grandma and granddaddy, y'all mother want to listen to these motherfuckers that been divorced 4 times, single, don't even date black women, and hell, and probably started a relationship the day before they did the podcast episode.
Right.
Y'all want to get relationship advice for them motherfuckers. We need to get relationship advice for me and Mama over here. We've been with our women for a long time, so we know how to make them happy.
And yes, and we've been through some shit. This isn't just we went for dinner and moved into each other. Now we're happily ever after. No, we had some dark times, we had some light times, we had some more dark times, survived those, figured out things, might have gone to therapy, figured it out, moved on, became better as a result. You know what I mean? You gotta I feel like a good marriage is the one that lived beyond the happily ever after. I know people who've been together for a long time. They broke up, came back together, broke up, came back together, figured things out. Sometimes they had another whole child outside of another relationship, but somehow figured that out too. That's the couple I want to hear from.
I want to hear from you. You 2 months to 3 years. Y'all ever got the Similac off the damn relationship yet? I can still smell the Similac on your breath, girl.
Oh, God, man.
But but got me another smoke buddy in the podcast space.
Yeah, no doubt.
Definitely want to bring you back. So, people, you know how we end this all day, every day. Life is a learning experience. What's the point of the experience? You didn't learn anything. Smoke this over. Thank you for coming to the lounge, bro.
All right. Thank you, man. Peace out.
Hey, how you doing? Let me tell you about a great deal. Why don't you come on over to the premium smoke room? There ain't no smoke like premium smoke. I'm talking about 4 premium podcasts. I'm talking about Miss Spit Queen and the Porn Rap Star. I'm talking about Pilgrim on Wrestling. I'm talking about Causing Havoc with Princess Havoc, as well as the Read Daily Report. Oh, I'm sorry, 5 STO Dark. Plus also extra premium episodes for some of the hottest ladies and gents in the business of porn. And all this for $4.99 a month. I'm talking about 5 to 6 extra episodes a week on top of the free shit that you get. So do the math. Great deal. Only on Spotify, only on Anchor. Come check me out. Come catch this premium smoke.